Well, good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast this Monday morning. Good to be able to start out another week with you. Looking forward to what God's going to do this week. Had a great day yesterday here at Maranatha Baptist Church. Just a normal Sunday, but it looked like it was a campaign Sunday. The downstairs was filled up both morning and night. And it's about time that we open up the balcony and start using that, hoping to do that real soon. And so exciting to see people saved and baptized no matter where you are. Hope that you're working hard in your church. God can still build churches today. We just have to go out there and work it. That's certainly how it works out. And I hope that you are working hard with your church, inviting people. You know, the truth is your church could grow, but it takes everybody inviting people. Everybody's got to have somebody. Everybody's going to have, if everybody invites, you'll always have visitors every Sunday. That's why it's critical that everybody gets involved, and that's how the work of the Lord goes forward. Well, today I want to talk to you about the obscurity of when God steps in. In Genesis 45 and verse 8, the scripture says, "So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And ye have made me a father of Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt." Now, we often hear people say, "But God," when they are talking about God changing something in their life that seemed impossible. The hope of many who are facing difficult circumstances is one phrase, "but God." However, many don't realize that they could be living in the "but God" of their life, but they just can't see it. Joseph went 13 years of his life seeming to be in a terrible position. But those 13 years were the "but God" in his life. You see, he could not see it at the time, but God was preparing him to be second in command in Egypt to help the world at a time to make a famine so that the world could make it through. It wasn't until Joseph looked back that he could say, "So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God." Now, just because you cannot see God working in your life does not mean that he is not working. And my friend, you can't see, but you may be able to see later. The "but God" in your life may be right now while you're going through tough times. You just won't see the result of the tough times until later. And then when you see them, you'll say, "But God," just like Joseph did. You see, there are many in the scriptures whose "but God" was the hardships that they endured. They just did not see it until later. Job's "but God" was losing everything, and though he could not see God working in his life, God was using his situation to help many later on. Stephen did not know that the "but God" in his life was when he was stoned to death. But in heaven he saw Saul get saved, who later became the Apostle Paul. The early church could not see the "but God" as they were scattered abroad around the world because of persecution. But it was the persecution that God used to turn the world upside down for Christ. You don't know, but maybe the difficulty you're presently facing is the "but God" that you'll see later on in your life. You see, you'd be wise never to be upset with what is going on in your life, because you don't know what God's doing through your situation. Because you can only see life through the present prism. And you have to trust God that he's working in your life. You don't have to see the "but God" in your life for God to be working. Most of the time, we cannot see when God steps in to change our present situation. But the fact that we can't see him does not change the fact that he's not there. The three Hebrew children could not see Jesus in the fire, but he was there. Daniel could not see the hand of God in the dungeon that kept the lions tamed for the night, but he was there. Jacob could not see that God was working in his life, but while he was with his uncle Laban, but he was there. Most people don't see when God steps into their situation to do something mighty through them. Now, are you going through a tough time that seems that God's not there? I want to remind you that most of the time, you won't see God working in your life. You won't see that "but God" moment in your life when God is taking that moment to prepare you for something big that is life-changing for many others that God will use you for. So because of that, you've got to be patient, my friend, with what you're going through. Remember that God has likely already stepped into your situation, and he is working. You just need to keep doing what's right and don't quit. Oh, my friend, there's been many times I look back at my life. There's times I've not quite understood everything, but I know one thing. But God was working. God was doing something. You cannot quit. You cannot give up. So you're facing health situations. Can I tell you? God may be using that health situation to help you to be able to do something mighty for him. So you're going through trials right now in your life. Maybe God's doing something mighty in your life so that you cannot see. You just have to trust God. The God that sees eternity is working in your life right now. You may not see it. Trust him. Obey him. Do what's right. And you'll be pleased one day when you look back that you'll be able to say, like Joseph did, but God meant it unto good. He didn't see it then. He did it after everything came to fruition. That, my friend, is when we've just got to trust God that right now, in this present time, he is working in our lives. Never forget it. Well, my friend, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let me remind you today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.